Trust me. I hear we have some family here. Do you have a mom? Everyone have a mom? Everyone mommed up? Yeah. Wow, cool, me too. How relatable. Here's an impression of everybody's mom. Everybody. I never said that. Nailed it. Thank you. Ready for your next comedian?
Yeah.
Give it up for Jackie Blumsack. Haven't seen the food here yet. It looks pretty good. You guys trying to give me a French fry? Hi, everybody. Thank you guys for being here in beautiful Burbank. I'm from LA. I grew up in West LA. All right. That's fun. My parents actually moved out to LA to be theater actors. That also sometimes gets a clap, no problem. Guess you guys aren't a crew that likes when people follow their dreams. It's all good. My parents moved out to be theater actors, and so I was really lucky because I got to grow up just absolutely surrounded by other poor people. And it was really special for me. My parents, I've run that joke by them a few times, and they seem chill with it, and then one time my dad goes, maybe you could say frugal. Here's how frugal my dad is. He goes around saying this joke. He goes, when I die, don't pay for a funeral, just throw me in the green bin. Let the city handle it. And then he waits for everyone to laugh. He loves it. That's a joke that I actually wrote. It's a fake idea that my dad wrote the joke, but he goes around telling people I really said this. But it's fully my joke. I recently joined Kaiser Permanente. Anyone part of Kaiser here? I wouldn't cheer. Permanente. What the fuck? Permanente. It's not as straightforward as the other health plans. The name, I mean. What does it mean, Permanente? It's no UCLA Health. It's no USC. I looked it up. I'm a lifelong learner. I looked it up. Permanente was chosen by Henry Kaiser. He chose it after his most favorite, most beloved cement plant. That's 100% real. And at first I was like, there's no poetic value in this. And I was wrong. Because when you think about it, I think that my experience with Kaiser so far has been a little bit concrete-ish. It's been kind of cold and kind of impersonal. And I chose it because it was the cheapest option. So my new Kaiser, Dr. Shiri, introduced herself to me for the third time on our most recent visit. And she said, Jackie, who prescribed you the Prozac? And I said, you prescribed me. She's shocked. I got a courtesy call from the Kaiser lady robot, and she said, hi, Jackie Blumsack. It's that special time of year. It's time for your annual cervical screening. This is an all-women's lineup, so for the dudes in the crowd, a cervical screening is when they go in and they scrape your cervix, and then you pay them $90. So I said, thank you so much for remembering, and I'll take the next available appointment. And 4 months later, when I went to go put in the address, I said, this is not that giant, shitty Kaiser building on Sunset that I went to before, the one where I smoked a whole joint before an MRI. And I kept saying, should I take my shoes off? And she said, no. And I said, what about, should I take my shoes off now? You don't take your shoes off during an MRI. Found out. Feels like you should, right? Because you're laying down and you're in a robe and you're like, should I take my shoes off? It feels goofy to have sneakers on while you're naked in a tube. So I put in the address and I'm like, this isn't that building on Sunset. This is the Eagle Rock Plaza. You guys know this place? It's on Colorado. If you haven't, yeah, hell yeah. Highland Park, Eagle Rock, whatever. If you haven't been, you should go because I like this mall a lot. On one side, there's a 2-story Target. You don't get a lot of those anymore. And on the other side is this place I love called Seafood City. And it's a giant Filipino market that specializes in fried fish and other fish products. And in the middle is a Forest Lawn Cemetery info booth that's manned by a ghost, or an empty chair. I don't know. But no Kaiser. Where am I to get my cervix scraped in a place like this? But I'm here to introduce you to corporate America's hottest new collab. Because on the second floor of the Target, tucked behind the lead-poisoned tampons, men, if you don't know what's going on with that, Google it, and the shelf-stable protein shakes, which is harder to say than you'd think, shelf-stable protein shake, is Kaiser's new pop-up cervical screening clinic. So now, under the big box lights, you can get your cervix scraped, and the smell of crispy Bangus fish, that's a joke just for my Filipino fans, the smell of crispy Bangus fish walks through your nose. I'm gonna find a better way to end that joke. Once I go to pop up. Is there a light? I can't tell. There's like a little tiny light. Whatever. Well, last joke. Here we go. When I graduated college, there it is. When I graduated college, I found out that all of those papers I signed were something called, you guys might have heard of this, high-interest personal loans. Yes? Okay. So I had to get a job pretty fast. And I was interviewing like crazy, man. I couldn't stop interviewing because that's what you have to do. And I kept facing this issue, and the issue was that I could not remember a single person's name. I'd interview with them, I'd forget it. I was off to my last interview, and I was interviewing for my dream job, associate technical recruiter. And this time I had the upper hand because they'd emailed me the name of who I was going to be interviewing with. They said Ryan. His name is Ryan. So there I was, driving an El Segundo. I drove a PT Cruiser convertible at the time. I had the top up. My hair was done. I bought a new blouse from Ross. I felt kind of like Peggy Olson in Mad Men. And I drive there. I'm practicing to myself. Okay, his name is Ryan. What is that? Is that an Irish name, Ryan? Family name? Nice to meet you, Ryan. I'm really practicing. I arrive, and they shuffle me into a conference room. I'm sweating through my plastic blouse. And even though it's set to 60 degrees, I love a challenge. I'm sweating. And a man approaches, and I go, oh my God, it's him. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, Ryan. And he puts out his hand, and he goes, I'm Eric. And I go, oh, no. And before I can even catch myself, I see my own stupid hand is extended, and I go, I'm Ryan. And I don't introduce myself. And I did get that job. And then I quit that job because, like my broke-ass parents, I'm following my dreams. Anyways, I'm Ryan. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, shake hands like that every time. That's the predator handshake. Hell yeah.